From Spider-Man's first comic to a Batman #1, these are the rarest and most legendary comic books ever brought into Pawn Stars.
What are you looking to get?
250,000.
Oh,
I'm asking for 60,000.
I'd like to get 40,000.
The first seller came in holding a piece of comic book history, Journey into Mystery number 83, the very first appearance of the mighty Thor.
so you know when this came out?
I believe around 1962.
Rick explained how this issue marked the moment Thor officially joined the Marvel Universe, standing alongside heroes like Spider-Man and the Hulk.
So where'd you get this at?
My brother. Well, he used to draw for Marvel Comics years ago.
Rick pointed out that a CGC 8.5 is a rare score for any comic over 60 years old, especially one with pages still bright white.
How much were you looking for?
About 100,000.
Rick said a rare comic like this could be worth a lot, but before throwing out a number, he needed to call in an expert.
So we have the first appearance of Thor. Thor is the 5th character that came along in the Marvel Universe.
After a closer inspection, the expert confirmed it was the real deal. Impressed by the comic's condition, he called it astounding for something so old and valued it at around $60,000.
So what would be your best price on it?
60,000.
I'll give you 30.
50,000.
I'll give you 40.
Okay, I'll go 40. Thank you.
Next up, the seller walked in with one of the rarest comic books from the Golden Age, the Punch Comics number 12.
5.5, not exactly a good grade.
It's a fantastic grade for that comic.
The seller explained that this one is really hard to find. Back in the Golden Age, they printed a lot of copies, but now there are probably fewer than 50 left.
And how much would you like to get?
I'd like to get $75,000 for it.
Before I make you an offer, I want to have someone come down and take a look at it.
The expert explained that Punch Comics number 12 is a key issue among horror collectors due to its iconic skull imagery. That's why even mid-grade copies like this one are nearly impossible to find today.
That's actually harder to find than the first appearance of Batman, the first appearance of Superman.
After looking it over, the expert valued it at around $55,000, explaining that the best-known copy in the world only graded at 8.5, making this one of the top surviving examples.
So what's your bottom dollar on it?
I wouldn't want to accept less than about $70,000 for it.
How about 45,000?
I appreciate the offer, but I just can't let it go.
The next seller walked in with one of the most legendary comics of all time, a first edition Spider-Man comic book.
I mean, I don't know much about comic books, but it's worth a lot of money, I know that.
Corey explained that since the comic hadn't been graded yet, its value was hard to pin down. It could be worth anywhere from $650 to as much as $350,000, depending on its condition.
And I'm not a comic book grader. There's over 100 grades that it can be. Let me call a buddy of mine up. He might be able to give me an idea what the grade is on it.
The expert explained that this comic was a key issue from the Silver Age. Back then, comics weren't considered collectibles. People treated them like junk, rolling them up or tossing them aside. So, the few that survived are incredibly rare today.
After looking at the book, I would put a grade like fine minus to fine plus. I would value this book anywhere from $6,000 to $7,000 in this condition.
After hearing the expert's appraisal, the seller wanted $5,500, but Corey shut him down, offering just $3,000 instead.
How about 4,500?
I'll do $4,000, no more.
4,250.
38.
We'll go to 41.
39.
How about 4,000?
All right, 4,000.
Excellent. Thank you.
The next seller came into the shop with what he claimed was a first printing of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #1.
I'm pretty sure this is the one I had when I was a kid. My mom kept it, so this is the very first one.
He explained that his mom had saved it since he was a kid, and now he was hoping to sell it for $60,000. The comic was even signed by Kevin Eastman, the original co-creator of the Turtles.
I know someone who will definitely know about this. I am going to go call him and see if I can get a hold of him to come down here and take a look at it.
Rick decided to call in an expert, and not just any expert, the co-creator himself, Kevin Eastman.
So the big question is this a first printing?
Yes, definitely first printing. My signature is undeniable because ever since the very, very beginning, I always wanted to make it different than anybody else, the way they were signing the comic, so I added a turtle head on each one, so this is definitely my signature.
Kevin confirmed it was 100% real, but when it came to price, he had no clue. So Rick brought in another expert to find out what it was actually worth.
So what's it worth?
A 9.4 straight right now, $11K.
So how much more would this bring if it was a 9.6?
Minimum $20,000.
Rick started low, offering $8,000 based on the comic's current grade, but the seller wasn't ready to part with it for that. In the end, he decided to hold on to it. The next seller brought in something every collector dreams of, an original Batman #1 from 1940.
Forgive me, you've kind of brought me one of the holy grails of comic books here, and I'm just almost speechless.
The seller shared he picked it up at auction about a year ago. With the debut of both the Joker and Catwoman, this comic's one of the most sought-after pieces in the game.
It's a 5.5 condition, which for a Batman #1 is an extremely high grade.
What are you looking to get?
$250,000.
Corey acknowledged it could very well be worth that much, but to be certain, he called in an expert to give it the final stamp of approval.
As you know, this is a big book. This is one of the top 5 big books in the entire collecting industry. This is one of the strangest books in collecting right now, this Batman one. For some strange reason, this book actually went down in value. It makes no sense whatsoever for a Batman #1 to be going down.
The expert pointed out that Batman #1 had recently dropped in value from $240,000 to $210,000 over the past few years. Given this trend, he placed its current value in that same range.
Realistically, what would you take for it?
$250,000.
I'm not a comic book investor. I don't have the time to sit on it. For me to make money on this, I'd have to offer you like $100 grand.
I completely understand.
Thank you for bringing it in.
The next seller brought in the complete original run of the Incredible Hulk issues from #1 through #6.
Like the original #1?
The Silver Age.
When it was gray.
And then he turned green.
Corey explained that Stan Lee, already known for creating Fantastic Four, wanted to develop a character like the Thing, and that's how the Hulk came to life.
That's Stan Lee's signature. What I'm a little nervous about is I don't know if it devalued him by having him signed.
Corey said that, most of the time, having the signature of the artist or creator is a great boost to a comic's value. But with Stan Lee, who's signing at pretty much every Comic-Con, it's a bit of a gray area.
You ever have him appraised or have any idea what you're looking to get for him?
I'd like to get $40,000.
I know a guy I can have come down and take a look at him.
The expert was impressed right away. Despite a few small tears and creases, the book was in surprisingly good shape for its age. He confirmed it was complete, with solid ink strikes, and the Stan Lee signature was perfectly placed.
So it's probably around a fine, like a 6.0. All said and done, I think if I did my math right, probably puts you at about 36,000.
Even after hearing the expert's take, the seller stood firm at $40,000. Corey wasn't willing to go that high though. With the gap too wide to bridge, the deal ultimately fell apart. The next seller brought in something truly legendary, the first appearance of Spider-Man.
This isn't just like #1 Spider-Man. This is the first time anybody saw Spider-Man.
Corey explained that this was the first time fans saw Peter Parker fully step into his iconic red and blue suit. It marked the start of a whole new era for Marvel. And for collectors, this is one of the most sought-after comics out there.
It's hard to exaggerate how important this thing is. I mean, this is where the entire mega franchise of Spider-Man began. And to collectors, it's practically priceless. I could probably charge people just to look at it.
The seller wanted $16,000 for this comic, but Corey said he'd need an expert to take a look at it, since it could easily be worth a lot of money.
I've seen one in a 9.6 condition go for over $1 million. We see some chipping here, which is very common with the paper they used back then. On a scale of 1 to 10, now I'd put this in the 5 range. Very good to fine condition, closer to the $6,000 to $7,000 range.
After the expert's appraisal, the seller dropped his price to $13,000, but Corey countered with $7,000. The seller lowered his offer even further to $10,000, but Corey held firm. In the end, the deal didn't happen. Now it's time for another incredible Marvel find, The Werewolf by Night number 32, the first ever appearance of Moon Knight.
Where in the world did you get this?
I went garage sale shopping and there was a whole entire bin of comic books and I got them.
She mentioned that she had the comic graded, and it came back with a nearly unheard of 9.8 rating for a 1970s book.
So what are you asking for this?
I'm asking for $60,000.
Corey said he's never even heard of this comic before, so he's not really sure about its value. He'd like to bring in an expert to take a closer look.
This is a massive book right now. The issue 32 is actually quite hard to find. There's more issues of #1 than issue 32. The maximum value of this book would be $50,000.
The seller said the lowest she'd go was $52,000, but Corey wasn't convinced it was worth that much. He told her she could probably get that price, but he wasn't willing to take the risk on a single comic, so the deal fell through.